Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
And we are live. I have some dynamic single moms here. Single moms that are doing the thing. You hear me? They have some big things coming up. They have some big things in the works. And we're just going to be here having a candid conversation about motherhood, about building businesses, while being a mother, building a brand, while being a mother, and let you know, just because you're a single mom don't mean you have to give up on your dreams, because you can still check that all them things off of your list just because you're a single mom. So would the ladies like to introduce themselves? Cristina, you're first on my screen.
Cristina, mother of 2 teenage boys, and definitely doing a lot. Definitely doing a lot. We'll talk about it later, though, but doing a lot.
Then we have the beautiful Alexis.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lex, owner of Call Me Lex Boutique, and I have a 3-year-old son. So, hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Can't wait to talk soon.
And then my lovely Nettie.
Sorry. Hi, my name is Nettie Long Poetry. I use poetry and a relatable content to help combat depression and help touch the hearts of those that help command change. And if I certainly can survive, so can you, movement. I'm a single mom of 7. Yikes.
Yes.
7.
Yeah, you don't hear that often.
Right.
Yeah,
and then look at us, single mama 7 still doing it. And for those who don't know me, my name is Nicki D, the poet. I'm nothing but a former shy girl who found her voice through poetry and now uses poetry to help others find their voice. Currently, I do have 4 books available on Amazon. I do have 4 books available on both Amazon and my personal website, NickiDThePoet.org. And I also have a coaching business. So if you're out there and you're looking to write a book, I'm your go-to girl, because I have self-published 3 books that last year through a pandemic. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking to become an author, hit me up and we can chat and we can make that happen.
Definitely.
First, we're going to go to Cristina. Cristina, tell us your story.
So I became a single mom by default. Okay, not, let's say, by tragedy, right? So I became a single mom when my son's father died, when they were 2 and 4 years old. And at first I was like a whole wreck. Like, I was like, how am I going to do this? What am I going to do? God, I'm lost, right? Until I realized that, it was my responsibility really to become, their springboard. So I started looking for loopholes, and that's what I call it. I became the one to figure out a loophole in life and then use it as a platform. So I started teaching single moms how to budget, right? Because I had a lot of friends who were on food stamps and a public assistance and getting a lot of money, but wasting it. And I was like, look, on top of that, you're getting child support. Like, how are you not saving at least $50 a month? So I started teaching them, how to budget. Then I started teaching them how to buy food, to make their food stamps last longer, so that when they got cut from food stamps, they were able to still have an abundance of money on their card, and then, have the stamps for a lot longer. Then I was like, there's a need for these girls out here, because we don't want to keep repeating the cycle of being a single mom. So I started a mentorship group for girls 5 to 18 years old. Then I was like, there has to be more to this, because I have sons and, I got to be someone better. So I started like really understanding what a visionary was, because I was able to like look at people and be like, I think you should do this, and I always thought you were going to do this, and be able to give them steps and start to teach people how to do that. So like very recently, I started doing vision boards like on a consistent basis. I do vision boards every year, but this year and part of last year, I started like really doing it. So this year, I walked into really being a visionary, understanding it, studying it. So now people reach out to me and we make vision boards. We do vision board parties, which I'm currently doing. I have a visionary consultation line where you could call once you've done your vision board, and when you have a vision and don't understand how to do what to do next, I help you get from point A to point B. And I'm also creating a masterclass in learning how to be a visionary and why it's important to be a visionary and who is a visionary and can you become a visionary. So those are the basically the things I've been doing lately on an active basis, along with speaking. I'm also using my pain as a platform and just teaching people like day-to-day life on how to do things, eating healthier. I'm putting together a cookbook on how to live the Daniel fast on a daily basis. That's coming up. I also have 2 other books that are in the works. So about writing books, I'm there. Like, I'm all about it. Being a single mom, I had to teach a lot of people was single's your marital status, mom is your calling. So there is nothing that you can't do when you know that your calling is a day-to-day, I would say, breathing basis of what your child needs. Because if you want to just veg out every single day, your child's going to go hungry. Your child's going to fail school, you know? So on top of that, you know, I'm a soccer mom. I do sports basketball mom. My kids are constantly busy too. So I make sure that their dreams are alive while I'm living my dreams too. So that's my story in a nutshell. I think you're muted.
I did it. I said this time I'm not going to do it. I'm always going to unmute myself. Technology, right? Thank you so much for sharing your story. So what we're going to do, we're just going to have all the ladies introduce themselves, and then we're going to come answer some questions. So next we have Lex.
Hi.
Hi. Tell everyone watching and the people who's going to catch the replay a little bit about your story.
Well, a little bit about my story of being a single mom. That was not my plan. I was married and then got divorced, and so ended up having a 9-month-old to care for on my own. And I never really thought about like owning a business. I never really thought about working either. That wasn't my plan either at first, but I had to make a decision. Am I going to stay where I am, or am I going to grow up and do what I have to do and take care of my child? So I decided to get a job, and then I still wasn't thinking about getting a business, but my mother was actually asking me to help her with her life insurance business, and I just kept telling her no, and she invited me to a summit like 8 months later, and I was like, fine, I'll just go because you keep asking me. And there were people who looked like me, who were younger than me, who were making hundreds of thousands of dollars on stage. And so it clicked to me like, I don't have to work a 9-to-5 to provide for my son. I can own my own business. I can, make more than, minimum wage or whatever the case may be. So besides working with my mom, I started a hair business, and I was just kind of, when the pandemic started, the sales were going on because people were looking for income. So I bought like 7 wigs in a month. And I was like, well, if I can spend this amount of money buying a wig for somebody else because I want to slay, then I need to be doing this as well and helping other people. But I was throwing things out there that was not grasping anyone's attention. So I had to zone in on what I really wanted to do in my business and how I wanted to provide for my son still, because I wasn't providing for him financially in my business. So once I decided to focus on my business and see what I could do, what I wanted to do, I realized that the best person to market to is someone like me. So I started to create things that would help single moms in business and in life. So a lot of people don't have time to do their hair. A lot of people don't have time to be on social media all day. So if you buy a wig from me, then I will provide 3 days worth of content. That way I'm solving 2 problems for another single mom. Now they have more time with their child, and now they have time to focus on other things that is more important. That's my story.
Thank you so much for sharing your story, and we're definitely going to hear more about that hair business. And you have this amazing Facebook group as well for single moms and female entrepreneurs. So you definitely have to tell us a little bit about that later. Okay. Next, we're going to bring to the stage Nettie Long. Hi. Nettie. You're frozen.
I'm sorry. I had the mic on. So so I'm frozen? Can I be heard?
You're frozen, but like your audio is good.
Oh my goodness. And I've got full bars on the phone, so I don't understand. So
you want to try to share about your story?
Yeah, I can do it. But the audio is still good? Oh my God.
Yeah, your audio is good.
Okay. Well, sure. Yeah, so the reason why I'm single was I became a single mother due to my ex-husband being the reason for our trauma. Okay. And I use my pain, of the trauma to help others, help them through their trauma, but also instill principles to help single parents be accountable for the decisions that they're going to make moving forward. Another thing that I do is I mentor a handful of youth that come right out of youth detention centers with poetry, and also to be able to help them through their pain and giving them a platform, trying to encourage them, trying to kind of help them through their poetry as they write, answer any questions that they may have with that, but really just be like a sisterhood for young teens that come fresh out of detention centers. So that's kind of like what I'm doing with myself. And that's it for me.
Thank you for that, Nettie.
You're welcome. Am I still frozen?
And for those who want to know my story, Lord, I became a single mom because, I was in a relationship that wasn't even a healthy relationship from the very, yes. Yes. And this is the young man who I'm a single mom to. My lovely Nolan. No, it's bedtime. Go to bed. Okay. Can you shut my door, please? Love you. I got my pajamas on. Okay, I love you. But then why do you got lipstick on? I love you. I love you too. So that's my precious baby. Nolan, the one who made me a mother. Like people before me have said, I didn't become a single mom by choice, because I don't think anybody chooses to become a single mom. But sometimes in life, you just have to take the cards that you're dealt, and you can either like stay in that place, you can stay in that sunken phase, and you can dwell in it, or you can choose to rise above it. And how I got through my pain was through poetry. So I was this shy, timid girl, and poetry was how I found my voice. And I never thought that me writing poetry would turn into this whole platform. I never thought that me writing poetry would turn into a movement that would inspire other people. When I was writing poetry, I was just writing it to get it out. But then I realized that there's so many people who are going through the same things, or so many people who are still in that situation and they don't see the light, because sometimes when you're in that situation, all you can do is see the pain. All you do is see that their father is not around. All you do is wonder, how are you really doing enough? How you're going to make ends meet, how you're going to pay for daycare, how you're going to pay for daycare, still provide that roof, still provide that food, and still make sure they have everything they need on that income. And I'm here to show you that, you can do it. So we're going to bring all the ladies back and join in some conversation. Welcome back, ladies.
Hi.
So, Lex, I'll start with you.
Okay.
What would you say was one of the biggest struggles you had to overcome as a single mom?
Oh my gosh. There's so many.
Yeah.
The most challenging is having to balance work life and having a baby. Because that, how some people just grow up and like, I want to get married and I want to have kids, and they plan out their whole life. That wasn't me. So I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to handle having a baby and having to work and, having all the responsibility on me. So I think that was the most difficult part, having to come to the realization that, hey, this is it. This is what the life is, even though this is not the life that you had chose.
Yes.
Right.
Cristina, what about you?
I think I had to learn through a process of going through this, that not losing myself, not in the sense of, I didn't want to be a mother, but in the sense of understanding that my independence was based on the fact that I'm Cristina, I'm a mom, I'm a businesswoman, and I'm also, someone's future wife. You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn how to understand that it was okay for me to do certain things and it wasn't hurting my kids, because my kids were always number one. And I had a lot of fights with people where they were like, you should be Cristina first, mom second. And I said, that makes no sense. So I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing because this is working for me. If that's working for you, great. But I could say that for me, and staying steadfast in the fact that I was consistent in being a mother first and developing myself, maybe when my sons were sleeping, because there were many times where I stayed up to 2 a.m. to learn the craft or to do something or to understand or to pray for them or just make sure that they were good. I still had to create my own identity within being a mother, because as your kids go to school, you're Gabe's mom, Jay's mom, oh, hi, Miss Cristina, I'm no longer, just me. So I had to embrace that and still be able to move forward and become all of me too, without letting my pain hinder it. That was another thing, but we'll talk about that later.
Yes, I feel like that is you brought up very important parts, that even though you're a mother, you still have to take time to take care of yourself, because I know for me, my transition into motherhood, I was just trying to prove that I can be the best mom that I can be, because I became a mom at 20, so I was still fairly young. I think I came home from the hospital on my 21st birthday.
Wow.
So I was still really young, and I always wanted to prove that I wasn't like the other young moms who basically wanted their mother to raise their child. And I'm I wanted to prove that I was I'm a mom, this is my kid, and I'm going to put my all into raising my kid. But sometimes when you're doing that, it's so easy to lose yourself, and this is a great part to talk about postpartum depression, because it's you become so involved in this new journey that you really lose yourself. So it's when you're not with your kid, it would be plenty of times where when I would finally have free time away from Nolan, the only thing I would do would be counting the hours until Nolan came back to me. And then I would always be crying about, I need a break. But then when he was gone, it's okay, I just want my baby back. I'm done. So it was really important And I told it to my friends that have kids now that be so stressed out. I'm like, what are you doing for yourself? I know you telling me all this list of everything you do for your kid, and that's great. But like, what are you doing to take care of you aside from being a mom? Like, how are like, what are your goals? What do you want to accomplish? Because
Mhm.
people think that just because you have a kid that you have to put your goals to the side. Like, even some people look at me like, oh, you trying to do this, you trying to do that, you got a kid. Yeah. But at the end of the day, isn't that going to be a more motivating factor for my kid that, dang, my mom really did the thing? Like, she really didn't let anything stop her from
Right.
getting her goals accomplished.
I think you're right. And I think you're really right in that, because I think a lot of times we forget about that, that it's okay, and, like Lex said, like her mom helps her out, you know what I'm saying? So in return, your son's going to turn around and be like, wow, you know what? My mom did it by herself too, on top of it. And he didn't lack for nothing. And that's another thing, like you said, like we're trying, I know for me, I tried so hard just to make the world understand that I wasn't like a typical single mom of two boys, that, though you didn't pick this route, you know what I'm saying? Like, no one really listens all the time to your story. So you're just like, I'm not them, and you're fighting so hard that in return, you're really hindering your kids too, because now you're taking that home, or you're getting off the phone mad. So for
Mm-hmm.
me, I really had to create a small circle too for myself, so I could just breathe, you know what I'm saying? So the people
Mm-hmm.
who truly knew me were the ones that supported me.
Yeah.
Whether it's I got to go to the bank, and you watch the kids for 5 minutes because you're here and you're my friend, so I'm going to run up the block to the bank. Thank you. Like small outings were like my free time, but I would just be able to get in the
Yes.
car and scream and cry, and if you know what I'm saying, and just and let it all out and be okay with it, and then come home and, oh, were you okay? Yeah, the cold wind made me cry. I'm okay. Don't worry. Keep it moving.
Absolutely. What about you, Nettie?
So I've been a mom now, so I feel like I'm the oldest bunch in the group right now. So I feel completely old. But I've been a mother for a very, very long time. And I was actually a teenage mom. So my first child, she's now 20, she's 29. Yikes. I don't want to tell you how old I am. But what was very important to me was, hey, this is my cup. So she's my responsibility. So I had already had that as already as my focus point to be this. I'm still in high school, yet I'm going to graduate. When I remember asking,
John, can you shut the door?
I remember asking telling my father, like, hey, Dad, I need to go to the store and get some what was it? Milk for the baby, because WIC wasn't enough, right? And I remember him telling me, well, money don't grow on trees. And you really couldn't talk back to my father. And I just kind of looked at him. And of course, he didn't let me go without the milk. However, it was a light bulb, right? Not all of us have this. Like, not all of us, like, think about, we could blame people all day, right? And point the finger like, well, I'm still in high school. No, what did I do? That very same day, I picked up the phone and I got a job. I went to the interview the next day and I got the job. And so at that point, my father never supported my child or I, right? So I already had that as far as my, if you want to call it parenting skills, that's just something that I knew that I had to do. It was my responsibility. So as I got older and wiser, I didn't start having kids until I was more responsible, right? And I'm an adult now, and so I'm starting to raise this family, and now I'm married, right? And so the reason why I have 7 kids is because I adopted my stepchildren. So he had 3. I had 3. I had a grandchild that I was raising, and so I just knew the one job I didn't know how to do was be a mother, right? The having the responsibility of the whole group when I became a single again, it was like survival of the fittest for me. Like, how am I going to do this? Because now I'm dealing with depression, right? Because of the trauma. And I'm like, how do I get to a point where I'm okay if I'm just existing? I just need to make every day count. where my kids are safe and I don't have to worry about anybody hurting us again. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because it was a family trauma. And so I knew I had to make sure that my mental health was stable. And I had to I was seeing a therapist for 3 times a week. She was coming over to my house. That's how often I needed it. Plus, I was working for my church at the time. I was going on my 9th year at the church. And of course, anytime I needed a step away from my administrative duties, they put me in a room and they started to pray with me, and they started to be what I needed, that support that I needed, because I didn't have a lot of friends. Yes, I had a best friend that I consider my sister, and she did as much as she could, but she was just as busy. I think the most important thing that a single mom has to be able to do is balance.
Mm-hmm.
Balance. It's so hard. It can be so hard. And there were times where I didn't want to get out of my room. There were times where I was looking to get sort of peace. So at the age of 10, these kids knew how to wash their own clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I took time with them so that they can be more self-sufficient, so that I could get a break, because it was too much.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine that it's 7 kids plus myself and a grandbaby, and I was washing everybody's clothes? I mean, can you just imagine what that looked like? Like, it was too much. It was too much. So they learned at 10 years old, by the time they reached 10, how to wash their clothes, how to cook. Every
Mm-hmm.
child knew how to cook a meal. So my son RJ did Mondays, my daughter Tony did Tuesdays, and whatever day I was off early, I cooked, you know what I mean? And then I cooked the weekends, and then they were all playing soccer, you know what I mean? So that was another thing. And then I decided, in some nut job, I decided to do 3 terms of being part of the board for their soccer club. And so it was important for me to stay busy. Then on top of that, I was doing praise and worship. I'm at church, and then I was also running the cafe. So I didn't, and then when it came time to slow down and my kids are now getting older, the balance of, okay, take care of you. That was the reward. And so I'm now walking in that, being able to, I've only got one little one right now that I got to worry about. Thank you, Jesus. There is light at the other tunnel. But I did so much in such a short period of time that I said, how did I stand? How did I sleep? How did I get, but it's rewarding. Being a mother is rewarding, and it has its benefits, because when you see your offspring, right? When you see them in the light that they are in, the byproduct of that.
Yeah.
They are because they are who they are, because there was a single mom praying for them. There was a single mom believing in them, encouraging them, making them be all who they are today. And that's the reward.
Yes.
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 Yeah, you brought me right back to the other topic, because we were talking about all the hardships, how hard it is. But we gotta let people know there are some good times. Like, Nolan is literally like my best friend. Like, every day that we're just in the bed in our PJs watching movies, cracking up, laughing, eating snacks, and he ain't gonna judge me about the amount of snacks I eat, because he eating the same amount. Like, I could just be waking up. He be like, "Oh my God, Mom, you're so beautiful. You're a princess."
Just love, right?
They're so cute. Boys are so good. Not that girls aren't. I don't know, but boys are just like, oh, they keep you on your toes. My sons, for one, like, besides the fact that they like shock me all the time, and like everything that they do, like, you know what I'm saying? Like Nettie said, like there's a reward in it, because I told my sons, I believe this is, I'm glad you were on this topic, because I was teaching my sons at a young age, life lesson. I would call them life lessons at a young age, right? So when my sons were like little, I'd be like, oh, let's pick out clothes, because I was trying to teach them how to match, right? And I'd be like, all right, for every matchable outfit, you get swag bucks, right? After a certain amount of swag bucks, you'd get ice cream. We go out for ice cream, right? So as we got older, they were like, okay, can we get allowance and not these little fake bucks? But I would teach them how to, like, we would play a game. Like, I'd be like, match the socks, and teach them how to, like, fold socks, because I hated doing it, but they didn't know it at the time. Okay. So they would fold socks for me. And then I'd let them share folding towels, and then I'd be like, this is how we wash clothes. So eventually I was like, so now that you could do them on your own, you know? So they were washing clothes most of their life. I taught them how to cook too, because I was working later, you know what I'm saying? And many times when I was in the hospital, I was working and they'd be like, Mom, I'm starving. And I'd be like, well, I left you 2 plates of food from yesterday. And they were like, well, we inhaled that. And I'm like, well, you can make yourself some eggs, you know? So that was like the first thing I taught them, like just to get them by, you know, or potatoes or something simple that they weren't going to kill the house, you know? So oatmeal, cereal, you know what I'm saying? Taught them how to wash dishes, you know, taught them the responsibilities of cleaning your room, you know, like simple things. But I think it's important because, you know, I could come home now with them being teenagers and their rooms aren't a mess. They take showers every day. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to make up stupid rules. Like if you walk out the house, you have to take a shower, you know, but now I have teenagers and people are like, oh, my teenager never takes a shower. I'm like, I don't know about you, but mine take one every day. And they like don't like being dirty, you know? I would buy them like little colognes and be like, you always got to smell good. To this, you know, now it bites me in the butt because now they're like, I like this Dolce & Gabbana. I'm like, it looks good in the paper too. Like, I don't want, you know, you know, but I had to like figure out something. So I had to get them a Scentbird subscription so that every month they could pick out a new real scent and they could, you know.
Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah, I had to do something. You know, you can't teach them to smell good, and now they're teenagers, and they'll take this fake axe and do something with it. You know,
right?
Like, but yeah, it's a blessing. You know, they definitely bring you joy. You know, whether it's a teacher telling you good job, you know, or I'm so proud of them. You know, it makes you realize like, wow, I'm really doing the right stuff. You know, oh, they could spell even when they were little, they could spell their name. Like most of the kids here can't. Like to me, that was like, wait, what? Like you don't got to do this before, you know. But it's a blessing. You small things become like big happy moments for us. But it's a whole, you know, they're blessings.
Yes, it is the small moments that be like pushing you through.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Lex?
What about me in regards to the blessing of having a son?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I prayed everything that my son is. I prayed every single day for what I wanted him to be. And he's exactly down to the skin color, down to the personality, everything I prayed for. And he, you know, I don't think I would be where I am today standing without him.
Yeah.
You know, I battle with a lot of things, you know, sickness and depression and things like that. So sometimes my son, who's 3, he'll be like, you know, you need to feed the dog, mommy. And then I'll feed the dog and he'll be like, well, you need to walk the dog, mommy. So without him, I feel like I wouldn't be where I am today, pushing through as hard. And then just, you know, him just being around, it just makes me feel better. And I think that's a blessing in itself. Because that love is it's undescribable. It's indescribable. You know, it's not something that you can tell somebody if they don't have children and they'll understand.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that accountability that he has for you. That's really important. You know, my sons keep me accountable, but from down to the T of the way I dress, like where you going looking like that? Wait, what? I was the mom, but you know, like, but even if I'm like, I'm trying to lose weight, they'd be like, all right, well, let's go running today. I'm like, I didn't say that. They were like, you said you want to lose weight. I'm like, I didn't ask for all that. But accountability is definitely everything. It's important. I think, you know, it's good to have that with your kids and be able to like really trust their sense, you know, and that's good that at 3 years old, he's doing that with you, you know, because it'll get greater and you'll realize that, like Nicole said, you'll be your best friend and you'll be sitting there watching stupid movies in your pajamas and you'll be like, more popcorn, please. And oh, we haven't eaten another bag. Let's just, you know, you just keep eating popcorn all day.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yes, it is. Boys are wild though.
Yes.
We talked about the hardships. We talked about the good stuff. Let's go into the building of these brands because all these ladies that are joining me have some amazing brands that are really doing this. And I just want to know, how are you doing it? Let the people know how, as a single mom, you still take the time out to focus on you, to focus on your mission, and build these dynamic brands. And I want you guys to follow everyone that's on this platform today because when I tell you their brands will definitely help you. They're doing some amazing things out here. So whoever wants to start, they can start.
Go ahead, Lex. You look like-
Or I can
Uh,
start if y'all want me to start.
you can start. You can start. Go ahead.
So, currently right now I have three different brands that I'm operating under. Well, you know, Nicki D, that's everything. Nicki D is right now. Nicki D is my poetry as well as like my coaching, mentoring business, and then we also have Nicki D Graphics, which I just started this month. Doing graphic
Yay!
designs, building websites, which is something that I was doing for myself, and then people started asking me. So I was like, hey, you might as well market your skills and get paid for them. So we have Nicki D Graphics, and then we have Nicki D Apparel, which is basically my clothing line, which just started off as Broken Crayons, hashtag Book of Crayons, no color, and just expanded from there. And for me, it's all about organization, honestly. Balancing, still trying to build my brands as well as being a mother and realizing that because I know like pre-pandemic when I was out here going to open mics, I was feeling so guilty like I'm out here going to open mics and this time I should be filling with my son. But at the end of the day, the work that I'm doing right now is setting us up for a good future. So if you're a single mom, I don't want you to feel guilty for taking time to focus on your business and focus on your brand because it is that business and that brand that's going to provide for you and your child and set y'all up for a better future. And now my son is like, he was like, for my birthday, I want to write a book. So now we're working on his first book. And he's like, I want to be a boss. I'm like, okay, what business are you in? I don't know. I just know I want to be a boss. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's good though. That's good. He'll be a boss. I mean, if he keeps writing them books, he'll be a boss real quick.
Yeah, he told me, he was like, yeah, I'm going to write like 20, but I want you to write like 100. I said, what?
I want you to do all the work.
That's your man.
Like, I don't know if I got 100 books in me. Ah, we have someone really dope that just joined us.
Yeah.
Hi guys. I'm
Everybody's
so
on.
sorry. My thing was acting so weird. So I'm here. I'm trying to get my camera to flip. Hold on. 1 second, y'all. Sorry. Can you see me?
Nope.
Now we
Nope.
Hold on. Technical difficulties. I am so sorry. All right. There we go. There we
Yeah,
go.
so we all shared our story. So I'm gonna give you the stage right now to share your story. You look so beautiful. Your makeup, yes,
Yes.
makeup.
Thank you. Thank you guys. My name is Jawariah for guys or anybody who doesn't know. I'm a mom of two. Uh, my oldest has special needs, so he's autistic. So I do advocate for that. And then I have a 1.5-year-old who will be 2 in May. Um, I'm a published poet. I am a makeup artist. I am an entrepreneur. I create jewelry. Yeah, I've been momming for as long as I've had my kids. I'm very spiritual. I'm down to earth. Um, Easy going, I guess. Uh, yeah, and I wholeheartedly believe in empowerment, especially for women. I believe in sisterhood and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's a little bit about me, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, like thank you. Like
Yeah.
I tried to tell y'all that all of the ladies on here tonight were dynamic ladies.
Hmm.
Yeah, I do a little bit of everything I say. Like I dibble and dabble a little bit.
That's how I feel.
But for and foremost for me, like I put my kids above anything. So I feel like the top uh job description is mom.
Mm-hmm.
I know you can hear my little one in the background. He was like, "Yeah, mom, no, you're not about to
Don't
do
worry,
this."
Nolan keep popping up even though he's supposed to be in bed. But
Yeah,
you know how that goes.
yeah. But basically, I march to the beat of my own drum. Like I'm very empathic, so I have a big heart. So I'm all for all this women. So I'm just thankful that you had me a part of this because I don't feel like it's enough of events like this when moms get a chance to talk about their story and just share in general. I feel like it's awesome to hear from a mom's perspective. So thank you for this.
Yes. And I just feel as though there's a lot of moms out there that, don't feel like they have to choose. And then there are a lot of expected moms because there's going to be a lot of, pandemic babies out there. So
Right.
there's a lot of expected moms or new moms who just Daddy, don't laugh at me. But are new moms and that might need that encouragement. And I've only been in the game for like 6 years, but I know when I was just becoming a mom, I needed, that a little encouragement. Just want to let me know that I didn't have to choose and not feel guilty about trying to, balance the two.
Yeah, and I feel like, especially after you have a kid, that postpartum is real. Like, it's real. Like, going through it the second time, I was thankful to have, like, my mommy friends. And I got to do so because I feel like a lot of moms, they feel like, okay, you have a kid, you don't really have people to lean on or hang out with. That's not always the case. I've learned to find people who have kids because people without kids don't typically understand what we go through on a daily. So it's really nice to find groups that can understand and relate on what you're going through. And then, y'all can like have play dates and stuff like that. I think that's awesome too. But mainly so is the support. And I feel like a lot of us moms need that support because it can get stressful. It can become overwhelming. Like you want to pull your hair out. God knows how many times I just want to pull mine out. But I just feel like it's beautiful all in all. Like I wouldn't take anything back, especially having 2 kids now. It's like, in a sense, they saved me. Having my kids saved me. They got me through a lot, especially my first. Like I can say I was in an abusive relationship, so I can say like I suffered from depression and stuff like that. So finding out I was having my first, I'm like, well, maybe I can give this little bundle the love I never got, and he can teach me along with me teaching him, and it's all a learning experience. Like I've learned so much stuff being a mom, even for the second time. It's not even funny. So it's awesome.
Yes. Let's talk about some of the lessons that motherhood taught you. Now I can go first. I feel like the biggest lesson that motherhood taught me was that I wasn't perfect. Even with like the dealings with his father, that I wasn't perfect, and I had to take some responsibility. I had to, growing up, that I had to do on my part. It was some stuff in me that wasn't truly healed from the past, so I had to really like get into the self-love journey for real, because so far too often out here, and I know y'all heard me talk about this a lot, that we have these trigger words in society. Oh, I'm a generational curse breaker, trigger word. I'm self-love, trigger word. And we say all these things, but we don't put into action what we're saying out our mouth. We don't really take those steps. So becoming a mother is like, I can't instill him all these qualities that I'm not holding up to myself. So I can't really expect something of him that I'm not doing myself, because I never want to be the parent where I'm holding him to this high standard and then he look at me, but mom, you do this and that and such and such. So it's like, if I want to raise someone if I want to give him a childhood that he don't have to heal from, I have to be healed within myself. So that led to me seeking out a therapist, which is something before I had a kid, I never thought of, like, that therapy would be something I would ever have to go through. But it's like, if I'm not whole within myself, how can I raise someone else? Like, I don't want to unintentionally traumatize him. So I had to end up seeking therapy for myself, going on this major self-love journey that I felt like I probably would never started if I wasn't a mother. How about you guys?
So
I think for me, I'm sorry. Someone else wanna go?
go ahead, Nettie. Go ahead. I'll go after you.
So I think for me, What I learned the most was I couldn't raise each child the same way. Does that make
Yes.
sense? Like I
Yes.
had to learn that they're all little people too, and they all have their own ideas, their own way of thinking. Like I had one child who was like super smart, very intelligent, but he just didn't have common sense. And to me, that was kind of like how how like, you know. And I had to realize that I had to be very careful with how I couldn't understand that. I didn't want to make him feel ridiculed, but like I couldn't discipline them all the same way. They all didn't respond the same way. And so I think for me, it was learning how that was like new for me, because I just had my unit. It was my three, right? And then when I incorporated his three, it was like, okay, he didn't have a lot of discipline. Like they weren't really disciplined. So it was like I was a drill sergeant. It was weird, right? You would think the father would be that way, but in a sense he was when it came to having to, you know, discipline them. But I felt like I was more disciplined. My children were more disciplined, more calm, more whatever. And then when I incorporated my big family here, I had to address everything and everyone differently. That was new for me. And somebody had to tell me that, because I thought raising them the way my kids were, that they're going to come out the way my kids came out. It didn't. It didn't. And I had to love them all. I love them all equally, yes, but some needed more nurturing than others. You know what I mean? And so that was another thing that I had to learn. That was difficult for me, because at the time I really wasn't an affectionate person, and so now forget about it. Because I had to put into practice, things that were new to me that now are habits. So now I'm just an affectionate person, and I can love my kids with all this affection. And even though they kind of push me away now, because they're older, that's what I mean. For me, that's what I learned.
I actually learned both those lessons, Nettie and Nicole. I learned both those things also. But the biggest thing I think for me was the fact that the biggest takeaway I'd say from having kids is the fact of learning how much I need God. Because, baby, I could not do this without God. Every day, every step of the way. You want to talk about therapy? Like, there were times where I would just be crying, and I was like, Lord, why am I crying? And he'd just be like, I need you to cry this out, And just knowing, like you said, Nicole, like taking responsibility. I had to take like 50% of this responsibility. Like, Lord, you know what? I know I wasn't married when I did this, times two. And, I know that it's not anyone's fault, that their dad died. This is what you planned from day one, So for me, it just made me realize that I needed God more and more every day, and I just had to like really go to him, because in my life, there was no one in my life who was a single mom for the longest time. Like no one at church, no one in my family. No. So people were just like, well, you did this, you got to make the best of it, but nobody really understands how tormented you are sometimes, or how you feel like you're not enough, or you're not worthy, or whatever the situation is. It's, what I'm saying? Like, and like Nicole said, like we say that we're generational curse breakers. I had to get to the point where I had to be like, you know what? The buck stops with me, like this will never happen again for nobody I know, anybody in my life, anyone I talk to. And I had to go on like a journey itself with God, just to learn how to break these things out of my life or for my kids, what I'm saying? Combat things that their father's family brought into the situation that I didn't even know about, that just popped up out of nowhere. I was like, where's all this anger coming from? And then I had to like really research and study and realize that my father's side of the family, they're very enraged. Like they have a lot of anger. And I was like, you're not going to be like your dad. And I was like, you know what? No, God was like, nah, we're not doing that. Like he needs to be like his dad. Dad has a lot of great qualities, but what he needs to do is be guided. You know what I'm saying? Like that anger is good in the defense mechanism. It's not good just to have 24/7. So I had to like corral them into, you know what I'm saying, like becoming who God wanted them to be more over than what I thought they should be, you know? So for me, that was my biggest takeaway because, you know, you learn when you embrace your kids, you actually embrace the fact that that like Nicole said, you don't know everything. You know, I tell my sons all the time, like without them, I wouldn't be the businesswoman I am today if it wasn't for them. I wouldn't, most of the doors in my life would have never opened if it wasn't for them. So I never ever tell people like, oh, I wish I didn't have kids so I had more time. I just tell them I'm young. When you graduate high school, I'm leaving. So just know that you can pay the bills and I'm out. Like I'm going to be young still. So I have, you know, I'll be able to go travel. I'll be able to do more speaking engagements and be on more platforms and, you know, want to be, you know, doing more stuff. But it's a blessing. And another thing that like Nicole was saying about the pandemic actually allowed us to be home more with our kids, do more events online, you know what I'm saying? And be like, okay, I'm doing an hour and literally break it down to an hour because now you don't have to mingle with everybody, wait until they put you on stage for 4 hours, and then you're like at an event all day because you can't leave and show up late because it's rude, you know? So now, you know what I'm saying, we create our own lane. And that's a whole blessing in itself that we were able to create a lane also for ourselves and monopolize a lot of things because a lot of people didn't get on the bandwagon.
Right. I would say, yeah, that I agree with all of you. For me, the number one thing I learned was patience. Because
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
Baby,
a
go ahead.
good one.
Preach it.
Let's take a praise break right there.
hold
Right.
on, we gotta.
Yes.
I mean, the amount of times I'm tried on a daily that's not even my kids, right? So my first, before I found out with him being on the spectrum and everything, everybody kept telling me, "Oh, you know," I'm like, "Look, every kid is different. Don't tell me stop, just stop. Every kid is different." But as I worked with him, I learned that okay, this is new not only for him, but it's new for me too. So we on this boat ride together, like we're on this journey together. And there were moments where I was like, I really did not have any type of patience whatsoever. I was short, I was fast, but then I had to apologize. And I also learned to be more accountable too, because sometimes we don't understand that when we yell at our kids or we may snap or go off on our kids, that y'all know what I'm trying to say. That messes with their psyche, right? And it can cause trauma. And I had to learn, like, oh snap, like I can't take out my frustrations on my kids. You know, I have to be patient because they don't understand. They're still a kid. You can't treat them like they're adults. They're still a kid, and that's even now with my youngest. Like he is advanced. Like he's only 1.5, but he does stuff like a 3 or 4 year old would do. Right? Yeah, it's crazy. And his dad would be like, "You do understand he's only one, right? You can't talk to him like he's." I keep forgetting. So I'm learning to be more patient because it's needed. I can't be so short with my kids. Because I don't mean this bad, but I guess it's one of those things as a mom when you feel like everything is on your shoulders and you're taking on so much and you're the only one who has to get it done. Like my mom always said, a guy can walk out of your life or your child's life, but the kid stays with you forever. There's no breaks. There's no okay, you can pass them off and that's it. No, your child is with you for the rest of your life. In the sense of you are his dependent. Like he relies on you for everything. He or she relies on you for everything. So you can't sit there and just like, well, I don't want to do it anymore. You have no choice. You have no choice whatsoever. And that's one of another things that I'm learning. I'm like, you know what? You have to find the positive, and you have to find the little things to make it easier for you. Like, okay, if you're tired, I've learned to take a nap when your child takes a nap, because if you don't, it's
Okay.
You can say that again. Say that again for the new moms in
listen,
the back
listen, for you
that
They're
don't know
always
moms,
how to
whether
do
you're a
chores.
new mom, listen, whether you're a new mom, a mom of 3, 4, 5, 6, it doesn't matter. When your child is asleep, that's when you need to take your nap or take like a second to
Period.
breathe. No,
yeah.
because you think, oh yeah, okay, I'll take a nap later. No, there's no later, right? There's no later. Because that
If you
later
don't
is like,
start when they start,
mom,
as soon as you get comfortable, they gonna pop their eyes open, and you
like
gonna be
mom,
mad.
it's either mom, I'm hungry, mommy, like that Family
That
Guy
part.
moment with Stewie and Lois,
Yes.
mommy, mama, mama,
Yo, that is
bruh,
Nolan every Monday morning, every Saturday morning. And I tell him, I'm like, it's Saturday. Mommy's gonna sleep in a little bit. You get your breakfast
right,
at 9 o'clock. But every
right,
Saturday morning at 7 o'clock, I'm hungry. Can we get biscuits? No.
right. So, that's another thing I learned is learn when to take a break. Learn when you. Okay, honey.
You're being
See,
something. You're being something right
right?
now.
Learn how to understand that you don't have to take on everything,
Yes.
because in the 24 hours in the day, only take on what you know you can accomplish. Because I be trying to take on way too much and I feel burnt out by not even half of the day. So, one of the things I want to tell you guys, do what you can. Whatever you can't get done in that moment, there's always tomorrow or there's always later. Like,
Yes.
I know we're super mom, we're super women, but sometimes we cannot do it all the time.
Mhm.
It's okay. It is all right. It's okay to cry. It's okay to have those moments where you break down. It is therapeutic and it's very healthy. I've learned that too. Like, it's okay to just say that you can't. It's okay to admit that you need help. The I can't stress that enough.
Yes.
I cannot stress that enough. When you think you're by yourself, you're not by yourself. And I'm saying this a lot for myself too. Like, you're not alone
Yes.
in any situation. Find somebody out there to help you. Find these connections. There are many. See, the power of social media and the internet. There are many things out there, especially for women of color and women of of all ethnicities. Like, there are resources for us. So if you feel like mentally I can't do this, and reach out to somebody. If you
Call
feel
up.
like, yeah, like call somebody. Like, I'm one of those. I'm like, what
Yeah.
you need? What? Okay, listen. Take a deep breath. It's okay. If you gotta walk outside or lock yourself in the bathroom for like 10 minutes, because I can admit I'll be in the bathroom for about an hour just so that I can have my mommy's time. Okay, because
Sleep for the hour.
look, I don't realize it's an hour, but I'll be like, oh crap, wait, I've been in here for like 45 minutes. It's time for me to get out. But the biggest thing I want to tell you guys, like, just be patient. You are your child's first teacher. So everything they see you do, they're gonna copy. And then what I know I don't want to like take up too much time on it because I know we're touching on so many things. One of the things I want to say, your child is always watching, so you can't get mad down the line if you see your child acting a certain way because apparently they saw it from you.
Oh
So
my gosh. Can we talk about how hard it is to parent the you out of your child?
So
Yeah.
I want to let Asia say her part first, and I guess we can get into that about what she's
Let's
learned.
talk
But
about
we could definitely talk about that because
I be like, where you get this from? Then I'm like, wait, you got it from me. Oh.
it. Mm-hmm.
listen,
That's a nice. What about you, Lex?
I think the biggest lesson for me, it may seem shallow to some people, but I realize that it's not all about me. I was when I had Jordan, I was a little bit younger, and it was all about me. So I had to learn that if he needs something and I need something, then I need to fulfill his needs first, you know. And so that I think that's, and I'm still working on that, you know, it's a continuous thing, but it was a big lesson for me to know that the world doesn't revolve around Alexis. The world revolves around other people, including your own son. So, you know, his needs come first.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a hard lesson thing to learn too, because even as being a single mom, you sometimes you fall into that woe is me category, you know, before you realize that single's your marital status, mom is who you are, you know. So until I realized, I'm just gonna speak for me. When I realized that, I was like, oh, okay, like I can get up and do this, you know, like this is what I'm supposed to do, you know. But it, like you said, it's a day-to-day thing, because there's times where I'm like, even now at 14 and 16, and I'm like, I just want to lay in bed, because I never slept in late a day in my life because my mom didn't believe in us sleeping in late. And then I had kids young, and I sleep 4 hours a night. And I'm like, people are like, how do you do it? And I was like, well, when you have two sons that wake up at the crack of dawn since they've been born, like you just wake up at 6 every day, of your life. But it's different, you know. I had to learn, like I said, sometimes I'll be selfish, and I'll tell them like, look, I've been doing so much for you guys, just give me 2 hours. And they'd be like, oh, okay, oh, all right, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you gotta let them know too, like, mommy's gonna get her nails done, like mommy's gonna go, go on a haircut, like you get your hair done every 2 weeks, so I have to take you to that barber shop. It's a different hour. Like, I hate that place, but yeah.
Oh, that's a whole nother thing, being a single mom and taking a son to get a haircut.
Yo, I finally have a good barber, because we go to church together. So I finally got a barbershop that respects, you know what I'm saying? Like, I literally go in and go, whoop, right to where he sits. And I'm like, sit right there, and we just talk about God the whole time. But before that,
It'd be rough out there.
Yeah,
I've been asked that too many times. Thing, because they always be thinking like, oh, she don't know what she talking about. I'm like, no. But he gets a 1.
Yeah, thank you.
He gets a high fade 1.
Oh yeah. Oh, when you know the terminology, they get a little scared. Like, oh, okay. Yeah, I know what I'm doing.
But then I had to learn, because at first I was one of them helicopter moms. So like, he's right there in the chair, and I'm like,
yeah.
So I'm a little better now. Now I be sitting there. I don't be like over the barber, because I'm like, you're not gonna mess up my baby hairline, because
No, but if they mess up, I'd be like, wait, you're not getting paid till this is fixed, you know. But for a boy, a hairline is everything. So if you that thing gets messed up, you don't.
Because I know
you do
if
not
Alexis
stop
not
hearing
made,
about
I'm
it.
gonna be mad. So you can't mess up my baby hairline.
Well, they get mad too. And then my sons did not stop talking. One time they got messed up, I had to hear about it, and they cried about it. I said, oh my God. I said, you know what? From now on, before we leave, it's okay. Oh, yeah, you too.
Hi.
So hi. Hi. Yeah, he's always making an appearance, and no matter what I do, he's always making an appearance. Right?
They like, I want some camera time too. He's like, I'll get some camera time.
Got to build your body.
He's been around me all day. I'm like, can mommy have a break? There's no breaks. This is what I mean. There's no breaks whatsoever.
So speaking of that, how do you guys find time to get a break?
When they sleep. When I gotta go to work.
I take my son in the bathtub with toys and YouTube videos, and that's how I get my time. He'll be in there 45 minutes, an hour, and he'll let me know when he's ready. And you want to take a bath?
I mean, my oldest. So at one point before everything, he was dependent on me. So now it's like he has his own TV in his room, and he'll watch YouTube all day. He only asks me when he wants some like food or something. The youngest, if his brother's here, it's like, okay, I can go play with him, but I get a break when it's 1. But when it's the both of them, it's like, okay, I'm gonna have to sneak away when this one takes a nap, because I can't.
Yeah.
Or when I'm at work, that's the only time. Yeah, like I said, either work or like if the little one's napping and the oldest one is away or he's in his room. That's the only time I honestly get a break.
I think it's also important to have like a team, because I know a lot of us sometimes we would be like, I want to get a break. You don't want to give the kid away, your kid away to somebody else. But I definitely believe in contacting my family or my friends. Like, hey, I need someone to come and help me today. Like I mentally can't do it. I physically can't do it. And that works for me in my tribe. And then if I can't get that, or if it's like, late at night or a day that I can't have that, then I just do the best that I can. But I really think it's important to have that where you can call somebody for help.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I can't wait till the pandemic is over. As
For real.
Pre-pandemic, he was going with his goddad. Since this pandemic, I haven't really had a break, but I get a little teeny break when I go over to my boyfriend's house and then he play with his son. So then I get a little break at that moment because he has someone else to play with. Because I feel like being an only child is rough.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I was happy once I knew my son was going to have a brother, because it's bad enough for him being on the spectrum, and every time we go outside, he goes to a park, all the kids look at him weird. So that breaks my heart as a mom, like, because parents don't really teach their kids or pretty much break it down to them. Because there were points where kids bullying him, or one kid was like, "Well, he's weird." It's not he's weird. It's just the fact that's just how he is. And I always tell people he's on another spectrum. He's just on another wavelength, So for him to have a sibling and the relationship between them two makes me feel so good, because I know even though he's the younger brother, he's gonna protect his big brother.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So. Slowly
I can't handle the bullying. I don't know.
These little kids nowadays.
My child, because I'm gonna turn into a 6-year-old. Like, I'm be 6. Like, no.
Right.
Now my breaks are
like a different person.
I take my breaks when I go to church. So like that's my like escape route. And I linger at church a lot so I could talk to everyone, see how everyone's doing, get my adult time in, because I work with kids Monday through Friday. So I come home and then I have to do homework with my kids when I come home. So I'm like, I'll be like, I'm going to church, or I'm going to go to prayer, or I'm going to go do something. My son's like, takes you that long to pray? I'm like, it did today.
It took you that long to pray? What?
Like, what did you do? I don't know. But I find it wherever I could get it. I mean, I do try to take like girls in days, like before pre-pandemic, I'd go out to like lunch with my friends like once a month, and we were doing that, but or celebrate birthdays. But I try to go to my best friend's house on Sundays sometimes too. I'll be like, I'm going to my friend's house. Bye. They'll be like, but I'm like, you're at your friend's house 4 times this week, and I drove you and picked you up. You don't got to do neither one. Just so.
Right.
But it's you got to get your escape route. You know what I'm saying? On both ends. I alleviate my friend when I'm there at her house, because her kids kind of like talk to me a lot, and she just gets to rest. So for me, that doesn't bother me. I'm out of my own element, and I'm laying on a nice cushy couch, and we're watching movies. So I'm like, well, half asleep, so it's good.
Right, and I feel like even like people who don't have that strong support system, it's again, it ties into make sure you have like a group or something. Like, I don't trust everybody, especially with the kids, because you don't know who's who. And that's why I'm kind of like hesitant now with the pandemic on putting my kids in a daycare, because I hear too many stories about them abusing the kids and all this other stuff. So, I always make sure that if I do get anybody to watch my kids, it's somebody that I trust, because I'm ready to throw these hands.
Yes, these hands stay shy.
Quickly. Let me tell you something. People think we get soft when we have kids. For some reason, the inner thug came out when I had my sons. I was like, please don't let nobody. My son was like, relax.
My son will tell you in the beginning, in a heartbeat, my mom don't play.
Yeah.
I might look sweet, you know, the whole peaceful Zen stuff, but don't let these crystals and aura fool you. Like,
She
yeah,
said,
Like these lashes will come off, these nails can, I can get
real
them
quick,
redone.
real quick.
period. My
So
son went to
my
kindergarten and told his teacher that I was a thug. She was like, I don't think you know what that word means. But he must have heard me say it like, try me, because you know I'm a thug or something like that. And he went to kindergarten telling the teacher that. And she was like, Miss Cristina, like, first off, his kindergarten teacher, I grew up with her son. So she was like, I've known your mom most of her life. She's not a thug. He's like, I think she is.
Yeah, Nolan told one of these boys in his class, he was like, "You don't want to hit me because then if you hit me, then my mom gonna have to slap your mom." I'm like,
oh,
Yeah,
like,
you're
no, if
already
you
in
heard
a
me say
fight.
it, you're
Don't
not
even
supposed
know
to
it.
repeat it.
ooh, that's the first time I've ever heard. Like, if you hit me, my mom's gonna have to hit your mom. I mean, hey,
Because I always
getting up.
I'm like, if somebody ever hit my son, I would have to get their mom because you should have taught your kids better. But I'm like, you
Right.
can't repeat that.
Right. So I'm gonna tell you guys an instance. So wait. So since we talk about mom, so the same day, I was in a park with my son and his father. Right. The kids were bullying him. So a few minutes later in the situation, right, the same girls start picking on this little kid, like a 1 to 2 year old, in the little slide part. So the sister comes like, "Don't push my brother." Next thing you know, the mom comes out of nowhere. So you push my child, so the mom winds up fighting the child, like
What?
putting
Wait,
hands
what?
on the child for pushing her son. And I'm just like, this is wrong. I mean, I get it, but I mean, it could have been me, but I was pregnant with my youngest at the time. So, I mean, I would have put hands on too, but I still don't condone moms fighting kids because, like,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
not, it's not, it's
That's
not a
how.
good
That's
look.
how. Like, oh, what's your mom look like?
Right. But I also feel like it's important, I know on the topic of motherhood, to, I love how you were talking about making sure your children don't have to struggle like you did. I feel like it's
Mm-hmm.
really, really important to set good examples, and even if you're not with the other parent anymore, I feel like co-parenting is important. I don't know if anybody's spoken on that yet. I feel like that's a huge part too. Like, in some cases, I know it doesn't work out, but having the strong foundation and structure for your child is important. Like, I just see it.
Mm. You about to back my whole setup, deal. Okay, you're supposed to be sleeping. That's why.
Um, See, I understand. I feel like, yeah, I think it's important.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I can say. Like, now, co-parenting is like, it's good on the strength of, like you said, we sometimes need a break, and you gotta relay that to the part. Like, look, I had them for X, Y, and Z. I'm gonna need you to take them for a couple of days because Mama can't. Unless you
I
want
wish
your
I had that.
child.
Honestly, I feel like that would be like, if we can get that together, my whole everything would be
Right.
so smoothly. But unfortunately, like I feel like I know because people like co-parenting is so important, but I feel like co-parenting correctly is very important.
That's what I would say it has to be correctly, because sometimes the other person just needs to grow because they're still somewhat
That hurt and that pain is still
salty.
there.
Right. I said they salty a little bit, or they haven't fully grown yet. Um, so I feel like just do what you got to do and just rely on your support system until they get it right. Hi, handsome.
You want to say hi? Since you wanted to be up here so bad.
So since we're talking
Look, the
about
kids is like, it's
co-parenting,
my turn.
in my situation, I wasn't able to co-parent with the father, with the kid's father, my ex-husband, because the trauma that he inflicted caused him to be incarcerated, and so but I knew it was important. I needed to co-parent with somebody because there's just no way I could have done it on my own. So the best support system that I had was the children's godparents. And so
Right.
Yeah.
yeah. So it was important that I had that stability for them, that there was still fatherhood present, And yeah, so and then for those who are listening, if your child doesn't have a god, don't have godparents, get you some. but
Right. What?
but
Preferably best friends,
but
like your best friend of like years, because that's how it is for my kids. Godparents
right,
are
Yeah.
people that
I was
I've
gonna say
established.
sometimes it depends on the quality of the best friend. Like, cause some
Yeah.
people only want the godparent and title, but they don't want to put in that work. Like my son's goddad is a great goddad. He's also my favorite cousin. Shout out to
Right.
Joe. But like he really he puts in the work. Like I have other people. And then his other guy mom, she is amazing. Like she just brought, I think she brought over him like 3 bags of like toys. Like she be spoiling him too much, honestly. No one has a whole tribe. He like, as I can say, he's really blessed. Like
right,
he has tons of people who spoil him. Like
right.
half of the stuff he had at his half at his age, I didn't even have. I'm just now getting at 27. Like so the
Right.
tribe, definitely, most definitely.
Yeah.
Obviously, you want to make sure you want to make sure that you
Right.
pick, godparents that to be in it. That if you were to pass, your child will
Right.
go
I feel like,
and live
thank
with
you.
them. That's
Thank you.
Yes,
that's
Thank you.
how.
Because
Yeah,
people, that's how it's supposed to be.
and
Because people are
also
like, oh,
put
yeah,
that
I'm
in the
God
will.
mom. I'm God. Word. Like, I'm God mom.
Right,
No, it's not just the title. It's the stuff that comes behind it.
right,
This is somebody that I can depend on. Somebody, like you said, God forbid something happened to me. God forbid something happened to the dad. I can rely on you to make sure that my kid is good.
exactly.
Instead of, oh, you see my God, baby. I'm about to
hmm
post up flicks with the baby. Like, wow,
yeah.
no,
It's
no,
Then you
it's
be like,
not
when
just
you
a
no.
gonna come
title.
get your
It's
guy?
it's a
When you gonna come
lifestyle.
get your guy, baby?
Word. It
And
is.
it be all crickets.
I don't have that problem. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. But they also
Lord,
knew that
you
when
just
when
messed
I
up my
chose
legs
them
to drop.
when I
Can you
chose
hear
them
me
as
anymore?
godparents, that they knew what that meant. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? Because
Right.
as much as I would love, my family, my or one of the kids to raise Micah, I just couldn't put that responsibility on them. Furthermore, it'd be, you know what I mean? They're still young adults. They don't even have children themselves. With, you know what I mean? Like you have to have a plan for your kids,
Yeah.
especially
Right.
the young ones. Yep, especially the young ones. So,
Right.
and my mom, she's getting older. I wouldn't want that responsibility to be passed on to her. Um,
Right.
so yeah,
And
it's
that's
just
just,
important to have.
and for me, I can say I'm so worried because I push it so much because of my oldest. Not many people understand how he works, and not everybody again has that patience. So I worry what's gonna happen to him once I'm gone. Like nobody's gonna love him as hard. Nobody's gonna
I need you
be
to
understanding like I am
yeah.
because nobody understands their child like a mom. Like yes,
Right.
fathers get it, but there's something about you're carrying this child for 9 months. You're experiencing all these milestones with this child. You pretty much have this emotional and all types of connections to this child. So nobody fully understands that love and care for that child but you. So it
Mm-hmm.
worries me that okay, something happens to me, what's gonna happen to him? It's bad enough he's a minority, it's bad enough he has special needs, it's bad enough, the world we live in right now, the system how it is, we could be walking on the street and something happens. Those are the stuff I think about every single day. That's what I think about every single day. So I want to make sure whoever has my child once I'm going, make sure that he is safe and protected. That is the number one top priority is that you treat him like it's your own and you guard him with your life how I guard him with my life every single day.
Yes.
Right, right.
That's the
I want to
point
talk
that I'm
about
trying to
one
make.
thing. Let's talk about dating as a single mom.
What is
I'm
it?
not ready. Dating.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. My children, my adult children said it was okay.
Oh wait, like us dating or our kids dating?
Yeah, us dating. Child.
Oh,
Dating.
I'm
I'm
ready.
about to say,
Oh,
I'm a
I'm ready.
sexual. I don't
I'm
want to think
sorry.
about him dating nobody.
That's why I said I wasn't
Even though
ready.
he
My
already told
kids,
me who he was
no.
going to marry.
No, no, no. Yeah, right. Okay,
Listen,
me
listen,
dating, I'm
listen,
so ready.
listen, y'all. If you go on a date and you get with somebody, make sure they accept your kids and they like kids because a lot
Let's
of these
talk about
times,
it. Let's talk about it.
listen,
That's on both
listen,
ends.
listen,
That's on
listen.
both
It's
sides.
both ways
Yes,
because
please.
listen, because thank y'all for this little space. First of all,
You better get comfortable. Let's go.
you know when somebody stood up and they look.
Yes.
I've heard too many times and so many stories because again, I'm gonna be real. Nigga, know I'm real, and I put it out there. I've seen too many stories of men killing their partner's child
Right. No, of
because
course.
it didn't work out. If you want to be with somebody who has kids, you accept their kids just how they accept your kids. Don't treat them
Right.
any lesser than what you would treat your own. Don't
Right.
say, okay, yeah, I'm with him, he cute. And then when he tells you he got like 3 kids and he paying child support or whatever, you can't get mad. Be that strong woman and support because what if the shoe was on the other foot? I always
Wait,
tell
I'm
people,
about to say, whoo, the 3 kids and the child support.
no, no, no. I'm just
Don't pass out.
listen.
Nikki,
I'm
he
just giving the
taking care
scenario.
of us.
Wait.
But
So
I
let's
feel
just
like
say, okay,
me, I
scratch
feel like,
that.
okay, I would date some,
Scratch
like
wait,
right
scratch
now,
that, scratch that,
my
scratch
boyfriend
that.
has a son, right?
Right.
But I would not date anyone who has 3 kids and is on child support. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I feel as though you're already establishing a pattern of making
Right.
families and leaving them.
Right.
Right. So let's
So
just
one,
say, okay,
two, the three.
yeah.
Once you get to the 3, I'm like,
Yeah, okay, let's just say
She said
okay,
strike
okay. So
out.
let's throw a different scenario. Let's just say okay, he was married, he had a divorce, they had like one child together, right?
okay,
And he's trying to
This
establish
is
himself, right? But I feel like when you're taking on somebody with kids, right, you have to be accepting of what comes with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the whole point I'm just trying to make.
You
The
did. You
only
Right?
thing
did.
It's
I
just
really,
it's
the only thing
it's
I got a problem with
we got it. Nikki
is
got
the other
left.
person. It's like I don't got time for no baby mama drama. So that was the first question I asked.
yeah,
Oh,
that's
you
what I was
got a
gonna
son at
say.
5.
Like
I'm like, what is your
every
relationship with his mom? Because I don't want to have to be dragging nobody.
right, because
For
you have
real.
okay, you got to think about it like this. Like
Like,
there you have the types of guys who, all right, who depend. I use the whole think like a man or why did I get married type
Yes.
situations because you got the man who sits there and is the mama's boy and all about his mom. Then you got the ones who has the baby mama drama. Then you have the ones who establish in their career and they may not have time for you. So there's all different types of
So many
aspects, but
scenarios.
yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
it's right. And I just feel like they should be accepting of if you're honest and upfront and you lay everything out, there should be no problems. And I feel like a lot of females and males, but I'm saying a lot of females be sitting here trapping these guys just so they can have a man to take care of them. No, 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 no,
Right.
no. Let's
Right.
not do that. If you're
Yes.
looking for somebody, make sure you're establishing this is what you want. Y'all creating a family, and later down the line, this is y'all like this. Not oh, I just want a man with a whole bunch of money who can support me and my children, and then use him up, and then once I'm done, I throw him to the side. Like no, let's not do that, ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Make
on the
sure
flip side,
make sure you're assertive of what you want. Be honest about what you want. Lay it down. If the guy ain't with it, then move on to the next one. Period.
Period.
no, but for real, on the flip side, when we are, I'm saying, because let's just say we are dating someone who has a baby mama. I hate that phrase, but let's just say we have somebody that, like, has a kid, the kid's mom is involved. You know what I'm saying? Like, on both ends, I've been the one to, come into a situation and then they're like, well, who is this chick? Like, how did she just show up? And I'm just like, leave. You don't even know me. Like,
Right.
I didn't
I
ask to
hate
meet
that.
you. I did not ask to meet you. But since we're here, let's be women about it. You know what I'm saying? And I
Right.
think on another spectrum, like, we need to, as women, we need to be honest. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not into caddy. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't care if you're my ex. I don't care if we had a kid together. I don't care what the situation is. At the end of the day, like, everyone deserves to be happy. And if that
Right.
dude moved on, or I moved on, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have to embrace it. Now, I might not want that chick because of the tendencies of her being around my kids. But that's a conversation I have to have with my son's father. You know what I'm saying? The dude. I have to have a conversation with the dude first and be like, look, out of respect, these are the ground rules that we're going to set so that our kids aren't put in danger. Like you said, you have to really know. But it's only fair. You know what I'm saying? But it's on both ends. We have to withhold that on both ends. So we can't be like the crazy, oh, I'm new, he left you. Cause, you know what I'm saying? Because that really doesn't get you anywhere. And honestly, that mom is going to hold on to that forever. She's not going to let that go. I don't care if you marry the dude. I don't care what it is. I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? One instance, one person says the wrong thing out of anger, and now all of a sudden the whole family don't get never back in the family because it doesn't matter what you say, how much good stuff you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just that vendetta. So we have to really, I think, as women, we just got to be careful and just be like
the other tone that you're using.
Right.
Yeah, just you know,
like,
just out of respect for everybody.
Right.
Because the kids are still involved, regardless of how you try to juggle it. There's still a kid in the middle, like, what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
So,
like, my boyfriend, I can say that he was very good and open, like, with his communication. Like, even before he first brought me around his son, like, he had a conversation with her. Like, he gave her that conversation, like, hey, I'm dating this girl.
Right.
You know, she's gonna be. Do you feel comfortable with it? And I thought that was very nice because, like, a lot of guys don't even think like.
Right. But I like to add on what y'all saying. I don't like the fact when females get like that. Like, why do you have a problem with the new woman when this is a conversation that you and the guy should have had? Especially, like, I get the whole when somebody new comes into your child's life, you're skeptical because I'm like, I don't know who they are. I don't know what they're going to do to my child. But there are ways to go about it. Like, you don't gotta be like, well, who's that bitch? Like, who the fuck is she around my kid? Like, I want her around my kid. Like, nah, I don't care what you do. Don't be having her around my kids. Like, no. And I agree. Like, if we're all adults, all three of us or whatever, or four of us can sit down and have a conversation of what we want to happen with our kids. Like, for me, it's like, let me know when you get there. Let me know what the game plan is. Let me know what you're doing with them this weekend. If it's your turn to have a kid, okay, let me know what you're going to be doing. Because God forbid something happen and I need to get to him. And you're not telling me. You can tell me, okay, I'm at my mom's house, but 9 times out of 10, you over at the girl's house. That's where communication is key in every aspect of it. You need to let me know what it is, what it's going to be, and then we move forward. I'll respect you a lot more if you keep it jump from like 100 from the jump street instead of trying to hide. Because I have no reason to get mad if you're moving on to somebody. I don't. I mean, at the end of the day, once we're done, it's about the child. It's not about. I don't care what you do, who you sleeping with, who whatever. I don't care. The only thing I care about is what happens with my child when they're with you. That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
Period.
But
all that other extra stuff, I don't care about.
Right. Right.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff, ladies.
This is so good. We definitely have to have a part 2. I didn't even realize we were on here for like an hour and a half.
Listen, single motherhood, it's just single parenthood in general. It's just something that, like we keep saying, like, isn't talked about enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not enough outlets for it. So, you know, that part 2's part 3, 4, 5 is necessary too. You know.
Yeah, we can each host it.
Right.
But guys, let everyone know where to follow you and to keep up with your brands.
Me?
Yes.
Okay, so you can follow me on Facebook at Cristina 2.0 because I'm maxed out on Cristina I. Sorry, I'm not deleting no more people. You can follow me there, or you can follow me on Instagram at Ms. MSIORIO IORIO. And that's it. So, you know, most of my
When's
stuff's
the next
on there.
vision board party?
Oh, so February 5th, I'm having an all-male vision board party, which I was told was necessary because the men were like, what about us? And I was like, well, you could have joined. It didn't say women's vision board party, but
I know they definitely was not in the first one.
Listen, like, it was popping. But anyway, we're still doing vision board parties. My goal is to get as many as I can done. I do them every Friday. So if you or your friends would like to have a vision board party, just hit me up. Let me know. I will you know, get back to you. We could do this because yes, come on. Like, Listen, for a simple $10 of investment, you could have a vision board party too.
You better go ahead and pitch.
Yeah, listen, you want to see,
Word.
like, listen,
All
vision
right.
is necessary. Like, it's really necessary. And the one thing I could say, and I'm gonna move out the way, is that every one of my vision boards have come to pass every year. So there's an importance of putting something out there, you know what I'm saying, publicly, and letting people come into agreement. Like, literally, everyone who posted their things, people were like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even know you wanted to do this." Like, people were trying to like hand out resources to them, like just within moments of them posting it. So when I tell you it's necessary, grab your girls, grab your boys, grab your
Look,
people.
it's
Let's
time
do
for
it.
me to make a new one. I made one like a couple years ago. It's time for me to make another one.
Yes, girl. This year is a big year. When you see how big these vision boards are getting, my gosh, people are like buying houses, got a new whole man on there. It's like
Yes, they was supposed to.
buying
They was.
buildings.
I don't
Like,
know where they was finding some of these, but I was like, okay.
Right.
yeah.
I mean, I got my little man, but
Right.
Keep it.
Um.
For those that don't.
So I guess I'll go next with the handles. So you guys can find me on Instagram at Lady Amethyst 93. That's my personal page. My artistry page, which is for makeup and jewelry, is Slayed by Lady J. And then on Facebook is my full name, Jawariah Samira Rahim. So make sure you guys check me out. I also host a virtual open mic. I brought that back called Unvoiced Voices of People Showcase.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm planning on doing one, if not by the end of this month, next month. So if you guys are interested, Nikki was phenomenal the last couple of
Nikki's
times.
always Nikki and Nettie
Yes, she
both. Like,
is,
Oh,
Nikki. So if you guys are interested, please let me
Thank you.
know. I hope we do this again because, like you said, this was not enough time. There's so many things to touch bases on. I am so honored and blessed that you invited me just to speak. Like I hope you took, because I took everything from all you guys, and you guys are super dope, and I hope we stay connected.
of
Because
course.
I need more mom
for
friends,
sure.
Of course, mom game. Let's start a group.
mom game, mom life.
Listen, we
Okay.
got to do it. We got to do it. Look, listen, the
Yes,
resources are out there. It's so funny because I always got resources for people. They'd be like, I need this. And I'd be like, hold up, let me see what I could do. You know what I'm saying? But like stuff like this is necessary so that you learn like how to network
Right.
and who has what and who could talk to who. And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, just even if it's just like my son, you know, my son just got on the spectrum. Like, I don't know nobody. But I got a chick that knows everything. Let me let you talk to her, you know? And it's stuff like that is necessary because it's, you know, you think you're
right.
dying in the moment, you feel like you're drowning in the moment, but you ain't.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Right.
This is not the Titanic. This thing rolls holding on you, letting you go. Hell no.
Even
I'm a
though we
break.
all know they both could have fit on that little thing. That's
Come on,
crazy.
can we talk about that? Let's talk about that next time.
Like, come on. Like,
She
oh
can move over.
no, please don't go. No, girl, if you don't move your big head over.
Listen, you put Mike Epps in
She
that.
was
Move
being
over, change.
stingy. She was being stingy. Hold on, y'all. She was being stingy. She could have saved room. He could have fit on the plank.
They both
Right.
could have because they were laying long ways. Their arms could have just interlocked a little bit, held onto each other's back. You're in water. You're not
Look,
full like
they could
weight.
have held each other.
Come
Right.
on.
Right. They could have been warm together and everything. And
We
no,
we
she
need the
was like,
epic remix.
Jack, don't let go. What you mean, don't? Right? Right. Don't let go.
Don't let go.
You know what I'm saying? Nettie, plug yourself, please.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm on just about everything on every social media. So it's either going to be Nettie Long or Nettie Long Poetry. But I'm
Okay.
also Googleable, baby. You can Google me. I come
Google
right up.
me. Yeah,
Google
yo,
her.
Yeah.
I
Google,
Googled
Google.
Nettie one
Oh,
time.
and
You
she's on
say Google,
SoundCloud. I don't know why she didn't plug her SoundCloud.
Right.
I'll put it in there. I always do. My SoundCloud, same thing. It's Nettie Long Poetry.
Oh,
All right. I just want people to
You
know
can
she's
look
on
sidebar,
me up
Nettie.
on
SoundCloud too.
SoundCloud.
So, sidebar. Nettie kind of plugged into me that I should do something, so I think I'm gonna do it soon. Thank
You
you.
better.
With the makeup
Cause
thing.
your eye
With
makeup,
the
like oh God, I'm telling you,
I
it is
know. Look
on
at she.
me.
I need to hire her to do my makeup.
I
Right.
got you, booze. I
Look
got
at
y'all.
it. Beautiful.
I
Beautiful.
know.
That's the
She
first
came
that,
in on.
oh, that's the first thing I said to her. I was like, you don't do tutorials?
Rory
Yo.
said that
I was
to
like, this
me.
girl needed tutorials.
Listen, I'm
Right.
You
so
gonna do
taught.
them?
I'm so taught.
Tutorials, you could do classes. That could be. That's a
I'm just
Listen,
bag.
saying. Yo,
I
you
got
need to do
y'all.
That's a
like you want to
bag.
talk about mothers getting out? Hello? Every mother wants
Yeah,
to
So
get
do
out.
I'm
do
gonna tell
everybody's
y'all.
facial
I
Do
got okay. Look,
mommy
listen.
makeover.
Yes,
facial
listen.
parties.
Listen,
So I'm
listen, I
plugging it
will be
in
a
right here.
test
Listen,
servant for
look,
you. Don't whatever you need.
listen.
This face can
I'm
be
plugging it in
everything.
now. So soon I'll go live. Or I'll include you guys, and I'll teach a class because my cousin's asking me. So mind you, my eyeliner used to be out here. I've learned and I
Looking
taught myself now.
gorgeous.
Yes.
Thank
Gorgeous.
you. So I got y'all.
Because
Y'all
every
be kidding
female
me.
needs to know how to have a good wing. A wing so sharp that it could cut somebody,
See?
okay?
Look at that. Look at that
That
knife.
is
Look at
nice.
that
I
knife.
can't do mine at all. So
No. I'm
I got
simple
y'all.
with my makeup. I need to
Mind you,
venture out a little bit.
I didn't look. I don't use tape. You
Yo,
know,
no,
I was
usually
just
I
gonna say
don't.
that. I learned that
No,
lesson yesterday, but no, okay.
no tape.
I think it's the pullback. You're supposed to do a pullback or
Nope.
something.
I don't.
No.
I
It's
don't
the
pull
flick of
back.
the wrist. It's the flick of the wrist.
It's a fucking. I got you guys. So look, we can
I'm
make a group
so glad
chat.
you're gonna do
I'll,
it.
yes, I'm gonna
What
actually
I'm going
start.
to tell you right now, don't do it publicly. Make a bag.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
$5. That's $10 a head right there. And don't work
$10 a
like
head is
what
Right.
ambitions say. You can go ahead and fail making money, then fail for free. That's a bag.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, you guys, this 2021,
I
you gotta
pay.
do everything for the bag because in
I pay
2020
for your
you did it
tutorial.
behind closed doors. So do get your bag.
Look,
Exactly.
I already got the light, y'all. I already got the light, so
Yeah.
I already got the tool. So
Woo!
whenever you're ready, just let me know. When you guys are ready, let me know, and
We're ready tonight.
we
No,
got this. We got this.
Right,
We
like you
got
need a
this.
No,
flyer.
you
I got
gotta
you on the flyer,
no.
sis.
put it
Like,
Get
let me
a
know the date
flyer.
and time.
Let us know.
You gotta put
Well,
it out there. You gotta
Look, you got $30
you
right
gotta step
here.
out,
That's a good start.
Exactly.
And you could
I
do a
got you
class of
guys.
10.
step
Like
out
you
faith
could do a class of 10 and be okay. Every
and,
time $100,
and put it
you be
out
all
there.
right.
Right. And
Girl,
it's
We
not
Boom!
gonna
got this.
cost you nothing. And it's
Let's
not
you
do
put
this.
it up,
it's
I'll
gonna be your
put it
face that
out.
day
How about
anyway.
that? You put
Okay,
that post up,
so
I'll put it out there for you. I'll
so I
promote
need
you
you
for
guys
it.
to help me with this flyer though. So let's get it popping.
No,
Let's get it
See?
popping. Let's
Graphics by
get it.
Nicki D.
Hey, let's go, Nikki.
listen.
Nikki got it. Nikki got
Nikki will have it done. I could do it for you too, but she'll have it done for you overnight. You'll be like, say what? When do you want this? What date did you say? What time did you say? Okay, I got
Got
it.
you.
Because that's the thing I learned. Like, and when I get an idea, I make a flyer and put it out there. Because if it's out there, I have to do it.
Right.
Right.
But
That's
that's the
a
one thing.
beautiful
That's why I did
thing.
my
If
vision
out
board
there,
party
if
the way
it's
I
out
did
there,
it.
I know at least Ambition is gonna text me like, you had a flyer, you didn't do it. We talked about your brand and your consistency, so at least I know somebody's gonna be out there holding
No.
me accountable.
Listen,
Yeah.
Nikki knows everywhere she goes. I'm like, hey Nikki, you will be like, you know each
Yeah,
other.
like when she was telling us about that vision board party, we like, where's it at? Where it at?
Yo,
Where?
I got spanked for that. They were like, well, no bag. Ambition's like, never again. I was like, you're right. Because the truth is like, I've been doing it for years. You know what I'm saying? And people were benefiting it for years. I've been doing this. Like, come on, like my worth. Then I was like, you know what? We're gonna go a step up this year. Like, I'm gonna teach you about vision. But it's a whole bag for that too. Like, get ready.
Right. And you know what's crazy? I never believed like I was good at it. And then even with modeling, somebody's like, you should model. And then next thing you know, I'm taking pictures and stuff. And I'm just like, okay. So, thank you guys for believing
You just
in
don't know
me.
sometimes what you walk into. Like, and it's not that
Exactly.
you're looking. That's the one thing I believe about you when you were talking about like how do we build our brands and whatnot. Everything I do is organic. Like last year, I started a mask line. Why? Because there was a need for it, and the ones that everyone was giving me was like horrible. So I ended up. I have my own mask company. Like now, it's called Cristina Marie, and I make custom masks. Like literally,
What?
Nobody
Guys
has the same
support.
2 masks. Nobody at all. Like I'm gonna next time I'll have them ready. Next time I'll show you. Like nobody has the same 2 masks. I made them for like my friends. He had like an album that dropped. I put his album name on it. Ambition has one that says Ambition the Poet on it. Like his is
Oh, well,
like
I need one that say Nicki D.
yes, I'm gonna do it because
And I
Well,
need one that says
listen.
Nettie Love Poetry.
I need
no,
one too.
I got you. Like, but no two people have it. So like when literally people like were walking around and they were like, "Oh my god!" Like, because you know it's yours. So that's the one thing like
Come
I
on, Bart.
loved was the fact that like people like you know what I'm saying, because now obviously I thought the mask thing was just going to be like a phase. Apparently we're going a little bit longer. So it's a you know what I'm saying, but that's okay. Thank you for my money. It's a necessity right now. And you know what I'm saying? Like people are using it for fashion too. So why not get in on it? My sons have like a whole bag of you know, they had like I got one with their controllers. Like they had like specialized like controllers for their Xbox and their PS4. I put those on their masks. Like they're digitally made. Like those things they're fire. Like I made so what I'm saying is like when there's a need for it, there's always a need for makeup. There's always a need for modeling. There's always a need for it. So don't ever think that like you aren't like you can't fit into that category because the truth of the
Yeah,
matter is
because I got
create your own
discouraged a
category.
lot. Right, and I got discouraged a lot because when I first started like really doing it professionally, and I'm just like everybody's like, well, I got you, sis, I got you, and everybody wouldn't really come through. So in a sense, it
Yeah.
was discouraging. So I'm like, I'm gonna just practice on myself. And then every
Mhm.
time I turned around, it's like, yo, your makeup look popping. Like I remember I was in the store, and he was like, you didn't do that. I'm like, yeah, I did. He's like, no, you didn't. I'm like, I really did though. Like what?
You get to tell me what?
So, like what? Like what do you mean
Nah,
I
but for
didn't do
real,
it? It's on my face.
yo, you do a party, whatever you want to call it, a party, an event, whatever. I'm there. Like, listen, I'm
Yeah,
trying to
promote
catch a
it to
man, so I
artists
need to.
because you need to like if you have shows every day, you're not gonna pay makeup artists.
Right.
Like for the big stuff, yeah. Like my book on it, I need to book you. My
Right.
photo shoot, I'm gonna need to book you. But when I'm just hopping on a Zoom real quick, I can't book you. So I'm gonna need to learn how to do. I need to know how to do this stuff myself.
I got you guys, and I'm all about. I love the support, and I'm always about
Look at this
encouraging
little
and
hand.
helping. So
Yo, your face almost killed me before when he was reaching for your face. You were like,
Like, because he just want to do anything to be in this shot. Like,
she's like, stay
oh
professional.
no, see this one over here trying to touch all my stuff, making music with empty containers and stuff.
Listen,
Yeah.
it happens. The joys of being a mother. Like,
Yes.
you don't know what's gonna happen.
exactly.
I'm telling you.
But
Even my
thank
son's
you
a teenager.
guys
It's
so much.
crazy.
Oh, I didn't even
Thank
plug my own
you.
stuff. Hold on, pause.
Plug yourself.
Please,
Y'all
yeah,
can
please plug yourself.
Y'all can follow me everywhere at Nicki D the Poet. That's NICKITHODTHEPOET. And thank you, wonderful ladies, for joining me on
Thank
today.
you for
I
having
really
us.
enjoyed this conversation.
This is fun.
We gotta do a part
definitely-
2.
We
I
definitely
already
have to do
said
a part
that.
2.
I'll do the part 2 and get you all on. Give Nikki a
Yes.
break.
So Cristina, get that flyer out.
Listen, when do you want to do it? Because I'll do it tonight. We'll
Period.
today.
Yes.
Like, listen, I make flyers too, so I'll be like, yeah.
Yes. So we definitely, you guys stay tuned for part 2.
Yes.
And if you have any questions, feel free to inbox us any questions. And then when we go live, we can answer your questions.
Exactly.
That's what we'll do. A
Wait,
question and
wait.
answer next time.
Wait. I just got something in my head. No, it shouldn't just be a part 2. This should just be a thing. Okay, it should just be a thing. I love this energy right here. I love this. I love
Listen,
this.
we
Okay.
hear money. We hear money. Be careful when you say a thing.
Right. Because I'm like, wait, how can we monetize this thing?
Right. We're here, Nikki, because
Look, listen. It's like the
We
me
are
too.
where the money
Wait, is it
resides
the
in
real?
2021.
Wait,
Okay.
Wait. Is it like the real or the talk? You know how they have the talk shows like the real and stuff? That's what I'm feeling. That's the vibes I'm getting right now.
Listen, we can
In
do it.
today's news,
Right.
Right.
Think
And
about
maybe
it. Just
today
think about it.
the parenting trends are
Right.
Nolan
Listen,
just lost a tooth.
let's do it. Like,
Let's
definitely,
do
I'm
it.
going to do a question and answer next
Like,
time.
what is the
Definitely.
going rate for a tooth fairy these days?
Listen.
That
So
is a good
one of you
question.
listen. I'm gonna need one of you guys to start a group chat and we're gonna talk about this because this is not over.
Yes.
Look at this. Speaking it into existence.
Oh,
But
Look at that vision. Look at this
I think
vision.
I
let's
have
do
everybody's.
this.
I may have everybody's number that's on here.
Yeah.
No, Jawariah,
Oh wait, I don't think
have
you.
your
No,
number.
you got it. I gotta get you. I gotta give you my number, Nikki.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put it in the group chat on Facebook, and then we'll go from there.
Yes.
Yeah. But I love you. Thank you so much. I had a blast.
Yes.
But yes, thank you guys. So it's coming with this makeup tutorials and classes and stuff.
Good.
So if
Yes.
anybody's interested who's watching, please hit me up. I got y'all.
Make sure y'all
Yeah.
hit her up because y'all inbox her tomorrow and be like,
Right.
when is the flyer dropping? That's what the DM should say.
That's all it needs to say. And then you need to start making what's that called? Like a list. What's that called? A contact list, so you know who needs it.
Yes.
Got you. We got this. Let's get the ball rolling. Let's go.
Yes. Mom bossing
Money
up
to
in
be made.
2021.
Come on, girl.
We
Thank
making
you guys for
boss
watching us.
moves. We
Yes.
making boss moves.
Yes.
Every day.
Thank you
Look at
guys for
that.
watching and good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
How do you get